I just realized my own daughter had crossed a line she assumed I'd never defend. What followed wasn't revenge, it was procedure. If you've faced family turning your trust into leverage, tell your story in the comments. I left work earlier than planned because a meeting got canceled. Traffic moved faster than usual, which felt like a small favor I didn't ask for. By the time the car turned onto my street in Aurora, the routine of the day was already broken. A sedan I didn't recognize sat in my driveway. Another car was parked along the curb close enough to make backing out awkward. The front door wasn't shut all the way. Light spilled through the gap. Nothing looked damaged. That made it worse. Keys stayed in my pocket as I pushed the door open. A man and a woman sat on my couch. Both were in their 50s, dressed like they'd settled in for the afternoon. A tote bag rested near the coffee table. A mug I didn't own sat on a coaster I'd had for years. The man stood up first. "Can I help you?" he asked. His tone wasn't hostile. It was defensive, like someone protecting what they believed was theirs. "This is my house," I said. "Who are you?" The woman glanced at him, then back at me. "We're renting," she said. Emily told us the owner might stop by, but she didn't say the man cut in. You can't just walk in without notice. I looked past them towards the hallway. A door near the back was closed. Shoes I didn't recognize were lined against the wall. "Show me the lease," I said. The woman reached into her bag and pulled out a folder. Hands shook just enough to be noticeable. She opened it and passed the papers over. 2 years. Start date already in effect. Monthly rent typed clean and clear, at the bottom a signature I'd seen my whole life. Emily Hale. My daughter's name sat there like it belonged. Footsteps came from behind. Emily stepped into view. Hair pulled back, phone still in her hand. She froze when she saw me. That pause lasted a fraction of a second. Then her shoulders lifted. "Dad," she said, "you're home early. No apology. No question." "What is this?" I asked, holding up the lease. She sighed, the kind meant to end conversations. "I took care of it," she said. "You weren't using the place. It made sense." The couple exchanged looks. The man shifted his weight. "You told us you had permission," he said to Emily. "You said your father was fine with it." Emily waved a hand without turning around. "I am fine with it," she said, speaking for me. "He just needs time to adjust." I folded the papers and set them on the table. "This isn't legal," I said. "You don't have the authority to rent this house." The woman's face tightened. "So what does that mean for us?" Emily finally turned. "It means he's overreacting," she said. "Everyone just needs to calm down." No one did. I stepped back toward the door. No one moves anything I said. No changes. No payments. "I'll be back after I speak to my lawyer." The call went through on the second ring. "Richard," my lawyer said. "This better not be about permits." A photo of the lease left my phone a second later. Another followed, then a close-up of the signature. "That's my daughter's name," I said. "She rented my house." A pause stretched across the line. Papers shuffled. "She doesn't have authority," he said. "Not even close." "What does that mean for the people living there?" "It means you're exposed if this goes sideways," he replied. "Civil claims. Tenant protection statutes. If they argue reliance, things get messy." Traffic slowed near a light. The engine idled longer than it should have. "So what do? You document everything. No verbal promises. And you move fast. Delay is how owners get dragged into other people's decisions." The call ended with a warning, not advice. A diner a few blocks from the house had open booths and no music loud enough to interfere with thinking. Marisol Vega sat near the back coat, still on a folder, resting by her coffee. She looked up when I slid across from her. "You sound like someone who found a problem instead of lunch," she said. Someone moved into my house without asking. Her eyebrows rose, then settled. Tell me exactly what happened. Details came out clean, no emphasis, no extra color, just the facts, the lease, Emily's name, the couple on the couch. Marisol listened without interrupting. When the story ran out, she tapped the folder. Houses on your street are selling fast, she said. Inventory's thin. Cash buyers circle those blocks every week. That wasn't my question. It's my answer, she said. If you want leverage, the market gives it to you. If you hesitate, you lose it. A waitress stopped by. Orders were taken and left untouched. Phones started buzzing again before the food arrived. A neighbor texted. Did you rent the place out? Saw new faces. Another message followed from an old client. Hey, heard you've got a rental opening. Someone passed your name along. The rumor didn't take long to grow legs. Marisol glanced at the screen when it lit up again. Paperwork travels faster than people, she said. Once it exists, it spreads. Emily's name appeared next. 3 messages in under a minute. You never said I couldn't. They already paid. Do you know how bad this makes me look? No reply went back. Marisol watched the phone go dark. You planning to answer her? Not today. That'll make her louder. Let her be. The waitress returned, set plates down, and asked if anything else was needed. A head shake was enough. Marisol leaned back. You want me to say it out loud? She asked. Go ahead. Family doesn't override contracts, she said. And silence isn't consent. You didn't cause this. Another vibration cut through the table. A voicemail alert this time. From Emily. I had to do something, her voice said. You weren't clear. You never are. Marisol didn't comment. She gathered her folder and slid it closer. If you decide to sell, she said, call me before you warn anyone. Buyers move faster when there's uncertainty. Uncertainty for whoever assumed you wouldn't act. Outside the street looked the same as it had an hour earlier. That didn't mean much. A call came through from the lawyer's office while walking to the car. An email followed right after. Subject line short. No greeting. If you don't take formal steps soon, you'll be treated as a participant, not a bystander. The lawyer met me at the curb briefcase, already in hand. No greetings beyond a nod. We walked up together. The same sedan sat where it had before. Curtains had been adjusted since the last visit. Someone had tried to make the place feel settled. The tenants opened the door. Both looked tense now, less certain than the first day. Let's get this clear, the lawyer said once we were seated. This lease isn't valid. The man crossed his arms. We paid a deposit, he said. First month too. That's part of the problem, the lawyer replied. The person who took your money had no legal right to rent this property. The woman leaned forward. So what are we supposed to do? You'll need to recover the funds from her, he said. Not from the owner. Emily stepped out from the hallway before anyone called her name. I didn't steal from anyone, she said. I was helping myself until I got back on my feet. The lawyer turned slightly. Did you accept money from them? A pause. Short, but enough. Yes, she said. I needed it. How much? Emily named the figure. The tenants exchanged another look. That's exactly what we paid, the woman said. So you admit you took their deposit and rent, the lawyer said, knowing you didn't have authority. Emily shrugged. It was temporary. The man shook his head. You told us this wasn't the first time, he said. You said you'd rented it before. Emily's face tightened. I said people had stayed here. That's not what you said, the woman added. You showed us the listing. What listing? The lawyer asked. The woman pulled out her phone, scrolled, then turned the screen. The address? Photos of my living room? The same couch? Different platform, she said. Posted months ago. Same name, same contact. The lawyer studied the screen longer than necessary. "That changes things," he said. Emily raised her voice. "It was still my dad's house. He never said I couldn't." "That's not how property works," the lawyer said. "And it's not how patterns are evaluated." "Patterns?" Emily snapped. "Multiple listings suggest intent," he replied. "Not a one-time mistake." The room shifted. The tenants sat back, anger replacing confusion. "So what happens now?" the man asked. "That depends," the lawyer said. "You can pursue recovery directly. Or escalate. Escalate how the woman asked. Civil court," he said. "Potential claims of misrepresentation." Emily's eyes filled fast. "I don't have anywhere else," she said. "You can't do this." No one answered right away. "I can't refund them," she continued. "The money's gone." The lawyer looked at me. "You need to decide your next move," he said. "This isn't contained anymore." The tenants stood. "We're not leaving today," the man said. "We need time." "That's understandable," the lawyer replied. "But this won't freeze the situation." Emily turned toward me. "You're really going to let this happen?" she asked. "I'm not stopping it," I said. She stepped closer. "You could fix this. I didn't break it." Silence stretched again, filled by the low hum of the refrigerator. The lawyer closed his case. "We're done here for now," he said. "I'll follow up with written notice." Outside, the air felt heavier than before. The lawyer stayed by the car. "Selling would cut through this," he said. "Clean transfer. New owner, new terms." Marisol's number came up next on my phone. "I need you to prepare paperwork," I said. "As soon as possible." "Understood?" she replied. "I'll run comps and send an estimate." Marisol didn't list the house publicly. No sign went up. No photos were refreshed. She made a few calls, sent a few messages, and let the address circulate the way information usually does quietly between people who already had money lined up. Interest came faster than expected. By the third day, Marisol called. "I have multiple inquiries," she said. "Two serious, one cash." "What are the conditions?" I asked. "Clean transfer," she replied. "No contingencies. They want the property vacant within 24 hours after closing. That's tight. That's standard for buyers who don't want complications." A pause followed. "I'm fine with it," I said. "Then I'll move forward." Emily found out before the paperwork reached my inbox. The first call came mid-morning. I didn't answer. The second followed 10 minutes later. Then a text. "You're selling my home now." Another message arrived right after. "You can't do this without talking to me." Marisol called next. "She's here," she said. "At the office." "I'm not coming," I said. "She's asking to see the file. Stick to the documents." "I am." Emily didn't leave it there. She showed up again the next afternoon. This time I was already sitting across from Marisol when the door opened. Emily walked straight in, eyes locked on me. "You're really doing this," she said. "Selling it out from under me." Marisol stood. "This meeting is about a transaction," she said. "If you're not a party to it, I need you to step back." Emily ignored her. "You didn't even warn me," she said. "I didn't need to," I replied. "That house is family," she said. "You don't just hand it over to strangers." Marisol slid a folder across the desk. "This is a purchase agreement," she said. "If you have a legal objection, it goes through counsel." Emily laughed once. Short. Sharp. "Legal," she said. "You're really hiding behind that." Marisol didn't respond. She pointed to the signature line. "Sign here," she said to me. "We can finish today." The pen felt lighter than expected. Ink hit paper. The page turned. Another signature followed. Emily watched without blinking. "This is unbelievable," she said. "After everything." No reply came back. The buyer wired the funds that evening. Confirmation arrived before dinner. Marisol forwarded it with a single line. Closing scheduled. The tenants received formal notice the next morning. Delivery receipt confirmed. They called an hour later. So we have 1 day, the man asked. That's the requirement Marisol said, speaker on. New ownership. And Emily, she's not part of this. Silence hung on the line before the woman spoke. She told us you were bluffing. I wasn't, I said. Emily found out about the notice from them. Voices carried through the phone when she called. Raised. Overlapping. You said we were protected, the man said in the background. I didn't know he'd go this far, Emily said. You told us you had control. I said I'd handle it. You lied. The call ended before anything else could be said. Later that day, Marisol forwarded another message. The buyer wanted confirmation that the house would be empty on schedule. Yes, I replied. The next time I saw Emily was outside the house. The tenants were loading boxes. A truck idled at the curb. Emily stood near the steps, arms crossed, voice sharp. This is his fault, she said to them, pointing at me. He did this. The woman shook her head. You took our money, she said. You didn't tell the truth. I was trying to survive, Emily snapped. So were we. I stayed by the car. No words added. No corrections offered. Emily turned again. You could stop this, she said. Right now. The truck door slammed. The man climbed into the cab. No one's stopping anything he said. We're done here. By the time the last box was loaded, the driveway cleared. Closing took less than an hour. The notary checked IDs, verified signatures, stamped where needed. No one lingered. When it was done, Marisol gathered the documents. That's it, she said. Ownership transferred. The buyer wanted confirmation by noon, not a discussion, not reassurance confirmation. Marisol forwarded the request with a short note. They need it in writing, the lawyer called an hour later. If Emily doesn't vacate on schedule, you're exposed, he said. New owner can claim misrepresentation. Tenants already filed notice. This doesn't pause itself. A message from Emily arrived before the call ended. Then another. Then a third. Long paragraphs. Screens filled edge to edge. You always handled things before they got this bad. You never explained what I could and couldn't do. You helped me when I needed it. This isn't different. The phone stayed face down on the desk. Paperwork covered the table. Purchase agreement. Disclosure forms. A separate document flagged by a yellow tab. Parental indemnification, the lawyer said earlier. Standard, but this is where it gets personal. Emily didn't wait for an answer anymore. She showed up at the law office late afternoon, eyes red, voice already raised. You can't shut me out like this, she said, stopping short of the conference room door. This isn't a family meeting, the lawyer replied. Sit or leave. She sat. Emily spoke fast words, overlapping. I was trying to stay afloat. You know how things have been. You let me use the house before. You never said stop. That wasn't a lease, the lawyer said. You didn't object. I didn't authorize, I said. That's the same thing. No, it isn't. Her hands twisted together. I don't have the money anymore, she said. It's gone. The lawyer leaned forward. Where did it go, Bills? Food. Gas. Life. The tenants filed a claim this morning, he said. They're seeking full recovery. Emily turned toward me. You won't let that happen. A line formed between her brows, waiting to be filled by an answer she expected. Years stacked up in that pause. Rent paid late and covered quietly. Credit cards shifted to my name without asking. Calls answered at midnight because it was easier than arguing. Each time nothing dramatic happened. That was the problem. I won't interfere, I said. Her mouth opened, then closed. You're choosing strangers over me. I'm choosing not to lie for you. The lawyer slid the flagged document forward. This confirms you're not financially or legally responsible for her actions, he said. Once signed, all communication goes through counsel. Emily shook her head. You always do this, she said. You go cold. The word didn't land the way she wanted. It never had. Another call buzzed through. The buyer again. Marisol followed with a text. They're waiting. The pen rested between my fingers longer this time. Not because of doubt, because patterns take time to break. Emily watched the paper like it might move on its own. You can still fix this, she said. Just this once. The lawyer cleared his throat. Richard ink met the page. The signature came out steadier than expected. Emily pushed her chair back hard enough to scrape the floor. So that's it, she said. You're done. The lawyer gathered the papers. We are, he said. This meeting is over. She left without another word. The confirmation went out minutes later. Buyer acknowledged. Closing stayed on track. A notification arrived before the hour changed. The tenant's attorney sent formal notice of claim. No anger in the language. Just amounts, dates, and deadlines. The lawyer forwarded it with a brief message. Expected. Evening settled without ceremony. Files closed. Lights turned off. The phone stayed silent longer than it had in days. At home, the document copy sat on the kitchen counter. 1 page. No explanations attached. The signature didn't feel heavy. It felt final. Another message arrived from Emily. Short this time. You didn't have to do it like this. No response followed. The buyer sent one last note before the day ended. Thank you for confirming. The lawyer didn't call right away. An email arrived first flagged urgent no greeting. New issue surfaced. Call me. The line clicked open while I was still reading. The lease didn't stop with the tenants, he said. It was used elsewhere. Used how? As proof of income. Silence stretched between us. She submitted the lease to a lender, he continued. Personal loan? Short term. They accepted it as recurring rental income. When before you found out? The dates line up. Another document landed in my inbox. Bank letterhead. My address listed as the income source. So she leveraged the house, I said. Yes. Without authority. A second email followed. This one from the tenant's attorney. Attachments included screenshots, listings, dates, messages. The same photos again. Different platforms. Different months. They're cooperating, the lawyer said, trying to limit their own exposure. What do they want from me now? Records, proof of ownership, transaction history. A list followed. Deeds, tax statements, utility bills. Anything that showed control rested with me, not her. Requests didn't slow after that. The bank reached out next. Formal tone, polite language, firm deadlines. We're conducting a routine review. Routine didn't feel like the right word. Documents moved back and forth all afternoon. Files scanned. Statements forwarded. Dates confirmed. Each response narrowed the frame. Emily's name showed up less as my daughter and more as a separate entry. Applicant, borrower, represented income source. The lawyer called again before the day ended. This shifts responsibility, he said. She misrepresented. That's on her. And me, you're a fact witness. Nothing more unless you interfere. Interference stayed off the table. Emily tried another approach that night. No texts. She called from a number I didn't recognize. Dad, she said. Her voice sounded smaller. They're asking questions. I know. You could explain it. I already did. To the people who asked. They think I lied. You did. A sharp breath came through the line. I needed the loan, she said. I thought I'd fix it before anyone noticed. By renting property you didn't own. You let me stay there. That wasn't income. It could have been. Not yours. The call ended without a goodbye. More requests followed over the next 2 days. The bank wanted clarification. The tenant's attorney requested confirmation of timelines. Each message came with a reference number now. The lawyer stayed involved, steady detached. "Answer what's asked," he said. "Nothing extra." That approach kept things narrow. No commentary, no defense. Just facts. Emily stopped calling. A letter arrived instead. Certified. Financial institution seal. Addressed to her, copied to me. "We are opening a separate review regarding potential misrepresentation." The language was dry. Consequences implied, not listed. Another message came from the tenant's side later that afternoon. "They've amended their claim," the lawyer said. "Additional damages tied to reliance. Against her, yes. What about the house sale? Unrelated now. Clean. The sale closed on schedule. Funds settled. Deed recorded." That part stayed simple. The rest didn't. A compliance officer from the bank called midweek. "Just confirming," she said. "You never authorized rental income from that address, no. Never received rent payments, no. Never co-signed or guaranteed the loan, no. Thank you. That's all I needed." Her tone stayed neutral, notes typed somewhere unseen. Emily sent one last message that night. "They're treating me like a criminal. They're treating you like an applicant," I replied. "That's cold. It's accurate." No answer came back. Paperwork slowed toward the end of the week. Requests turned into acknowledgments. Timelines extended. Reviews opened. The lawyer sent a final update before the weekend. Financial institution opened a separate file. "This is out of your hands now." The phone went down on the table. Dinner sat untouched longer than usual. Not because of nerves, because there was nothing left to react to. Another notification arrived as the evening settled. A status update from the bank portal forwarded by the lawyer. Case under review. The handoff took place on a Tuesday morning. Keys changed hands across a desk that didn't belong to me anymore. The buyer reviewed the final checklist, nodded once, and thanked everyone for keeping things clean. "Vacant by end of day," he said. "Appreciated." Paper slid initials followed, and the last confirmation email hit my phone before noon. Ownership settled the way math does, no feelings attached. By mid-afternoon, the new owner's property manager issued notices. Standard language, firm deadlines. No room for interpretation. Anyone still occupying the house had 24 hours to clear out. No extensions. The tenants called first. "They're asking for the deposit back," the woman said. "And the rent, all of it." "That goes to Emily," I said. "Through counsel. So you're not involved anymore." "Not personally." A pause followed, then relief edged into her voice. "Thank you for sending the records," she said. "Our lawyer said it helps. I sent everything I had." The call ended without ceremony. The system moved the rest along. A formal demand letter went out to Emily requesting repayment. Amounts listed. Deadlines set. The bank followed with another notice documentation, required review ongoing. Each message arrived from a different address, stamped with authority. No gray areas left to hide in. Emily tried to re-enter the conversation anyway. Not through text or calls this time. She showed up where she thought I'd be, outside the house near the curb, as the last of her things waited in trash bags. The property manager stood nearby, arms crossed, phone ready. Emily stepped toward the car when she saw me. "Can we talk?" she asked. "Not like this. Just 5 minutes. Talk to your attorney. I don't have one yet." "That's not my problem." She reached out, stopped herself. "You sent them everything she said. You didn't have to." "I did. You could have kept some of it vague." "Vague helps liars." Her jaw tightened. "You always choose rules over people. I choose responsibility." A voice cut in from behind her. "Ma'am," the property manager said, "we need the driveway cleared." Emily turned on him. "This is my father's house. Not anymore," he said. "And not yours." She looked back at me. "So that's it," she said. You won't even hear me out. There's nothing left to clarify. A truck pulled up. One of the tenants returned to retrieve a forgotten box. The scene had moved past us. Emily lowered her voice. They're coming after me. They're asking questions. Same thing. You created the record, I said. Now it's being read. She laughed, once brittle. You sound like a judge. No, I said. I sound like someone done explaining. The property manager checked his watch. Last call, he said. Emily stared at the house, then back at me. You're really leaving me with this. I'm leaving you with what you did. She stepped away, shouldering a bag that sagged under its own weight. Tell them you're done, she said. That you won't help. I already did. The door closed behind her without a slam. I didn't stay to watch the rest. There was nothing left to supervise. The property manager nodded once as I passed. Thanks for cooperating, he said. Traffic pulled me away from the block. The street disappeared in the mirror without ceremony. Later that afternoon, the tenant's attorney confirmed receipt of the full file. The message was brief. Clear chain of ownership. Clear misrepresentation. Thank you. I forwarded it to my lawyer. He replied with a single word. Good. Emily attempted one last approach that evening. A message came through the firm's portal, routed by her name, flagged urgent. Can we meet? She wrote. Just us. The response went out 5 minutes later, drafted by counsel. All communication will proceed through legal representatives. No follow-up arrived. Dinner happened late. Dishes sat longer than usual. Not from hesitation, just a day spent closing loops. A call came in near sunset. Unknown number. Mr. Hale, a voice said. This is compliance. Just confirming you've provided all materials requested. Yes, thank you. No further action required at this time. The line went dead. I drove past the old place once more before heading home. The driveway stood empty, windows dark. A lockbox hung on the door with a different code. The outcome wasn't public yet. No notices posted, no conclusions announced. But the direction was set. At a red light, my phone buzzed again. A final notification from the buyer's office. Possession confirmed. The letters didn't arrive all at once. They came spaced out, each with a different return address. Civil demand, financial review, notice of risk designation. None of them used dramatic language. They didn't need to. Emily's name appeared on every page. Amounts owed. Deadlines. Instructions for response. No mention of family. The lawyer summarized it over the phone. She's facing civil liability, he said. Repayment plus fees. Her credit profile's been flagged. Lenders will see it. Anything criminal. Not at this stage, and you're not pushing for that. No, you won't intervene either. No, that line stayed intact. Emily didn't call anymore. Messages stopped weeks earlier. Information about her filtered through third parties, instead Marisol mentioning she'd tried to apply for a rental and been denied, the lawyer noting missed response windows, a compliance update confirming the review remained open. No one asked me to step in. That part was over. Work returned in pieces. A former client reached out about a small consulting job. Nothing urgent, nothing glamorous. Drawings to review, site visits, clear scopes. Saying yes felt easier than expected. The routine settled back in. Mornings filled with calls, afternoons spent reviewing plans, evenings left open again. A flyer arrived in the mail one afternoon, folded once address, printed crooked. Weekend climbing course. Out of state. Dates circled by someone who assumed interest. The card sat on the counter for 2 days before the website opened. Registration took less than 5 minutes. Payment processed. Confirmation sent. No one else needed to know. The last meeting with the lawyer happened on a Friday. No conference room this time. His office door stayed open. Files stacked neatly, already thinned. "Everything tied to the sale is closed," he said. "You're clear." "And Emily. That's her case now. Separate file." He slid a single page across the desk. "Final acknowledgement. No attachments." A pen waited nearby. Signature added without pause. "You did what you needed to," he said. "Nothing more. That's usually enough." The folder stayed behind when I stood. No reason to carry it out. Outside, the sidewalk buzzed with the end of the workday. People headed home. Others walked past without looking up. No one knew what had just finished. A voicemail came through while walking to the car. "Unknown number." "This is collections," a voice said. "We're attempting to reach Emily Hale regarding an outstanding obligation." The message ended with a reference code. "Not my problem. Not forwarded." Dinner that night stayed simple. No appetite issues, no celebration. Just food and a chair and time moving forward. The climbing confirmation pinged again with a reminder. Gear list attached. Waiver included. Printed it out. Signed. Set it aside. Emily's name didn't come up again. Not in conversation. Not on screens. Not attached to anything that required action. That absence didn't feel like victory. It felt like separation. The job resumed the following Monday. Hard hat back on. Clipboard filled. A site manager asked if I'd be available the next week. "Yes," I said. The house no longer belonged to me. That part stayed true. But the days ahead did. When the car pulled into the driveway that evening, the phone buzzed once more. A message from the climbing program confirming enrollment. Nothing else followed. Keys went on the hook by the door. Shoes stayed where they landed. Tomorrow already had a shape.